They were perfect at first. Thoughtful, considerate, engaging. They texted back quickly, made effort in conversations, showed genuine interest in your life. They were respectful, kind, careful with your feelings. You felt seen, valued, appreciated. And then something shifted. It wasn't dramatic. It happened gradually. The texts became shorter, less frequent. The effort decreased. The consideration diminished. They started canceling plans more often, showing up late, forgetting things you'd told them were important, saying things that were slightly thoughtless, slightly inconsiderate, slightly careless. When you were new to them, they were their best self. Now that you're familiar, comfortable, established in their life, they're showing you a different version, less polished, less careful, less concerned with making a good impression, and you're confused. Is this who they really are? Was the earlier version fake? Did they just stop caring? Are you not important anymore? You bring it up carefully, less engaged, and they're genuinely surprised. What do you mean? I'm just being myself now. I feel comfortable with you. Isn't that good? But it doesn't feel good. It feels like a bait and switch, like they presented one version to win your trust and affection, and now that they have it, they've stopped trying. Like the real them is less considerate, less thoughtful, less worthy of the connection you thought you were building. Here's what you need to understand. This pattern isn't about you becoming less important. It's about them finally feeling safe enough to drop the performance. And whether that's healthy or toxic depends entirely on what's underneath the mask they were wearing. Tonight, I'm going to show you the psychology behind why people change when they get comfortable, what it reveals about attachment, authenticity, and the difference between genuine connection and manipulative behavior. Before we dive deep into applied psychology, subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments where you're from. Development made Case into a relationship when she realized the person she was dating had become someone completely different from who she'd met. The charming, attentive man who'd planned thoughtful dates and sent good morning texts every day had been replaced by someone who forgot their anniversary, showed up late without apology, and seemed perpetually distracted when they were together. I feel like I've been tricked, Maya told her therapist, like he put on an act to get me invested, and now that I'm invested, he doesn't have to try anymore. Her therapist asked a crucial question. Do you think he was being fake before, or do you think he's being authentic now? That question revealed the core issue. Behavioral change when people get comfortable can mean two completely different things, depending on what's driving it. Dr. John Bowlby's attachment theory explains that humans have different behavioral systems activated in different relationship stages. Early in relationships, our caregiving and affiliative systems are highly activated. We're motivated to create bonds, demonstrate value, show our best qualities. This is evolutionary adaptive. Successfully forming connections required presenting ourselves favorably. But as relationships stabilize and feel secure, these systems downregulate. We no longer feel the need to constantly demonstrate worthiness because the bond is established. This allows our authentic self, including our flaws, our lazy habits, our less attractive qualities, to emerge. This is normal, healthy relationship development. The version of someone who texts back immediately in month 1 but takes hours in month 8 isn't necessarily caring less. They're just no longer in the anxious must-maintain connection phase. They feel secure enough that they don't need to perform constant availability. Dr. Bella DePaulo's research on self-presentation shows that everyone engages in impression management early in relationships. We highlight strengths, minimize weaknesses, present an idealized version of ourselves. Not because we're liars, but because we're trying to form connection, and connection requires showing why we're worth connecting to. Maya recognized this in herself. Early in the relationship, she'd been more careful about her appearance, more filtered in what she shared, more conscious of seeming fun and interesting. 8 months in, she wore sweatpants around her partner, talked about boring work problems, sometimes chose to read alone rather than constantly engage. She'd become more authentic, more relaxed, more herself, and so had he. But here's where it gets complicated. There's a difference between dropping performance to be authentic and dropping effort because you no longer care. Dr. Willard Harley's research on emotional needs in relationships identifies that some people engage in what he calls bait and switch behavior. High effort during the pursuit phase, minimal effort once the relationship is secured. This isn't about authenticity. It's about strategy. These individuals are highly motivated by novelty and conquest. They enjoy the pursuit, the challenge, the validation of winning someone over. But once the person is won, the motivation drops dramatically. The relationship becomes maintenance rather than achievement, and maintenance doesn't activate their reward systems. Maya needed to distinguish. Was her partner being more authentic, or was he being more lazy? Authentic relaxation looks like less performative behavior but consistent respect, decreased impression management but maintained consideration, more vulnerability and honesty, comfort expressing needs and boundaries, showing imperfect parts but still caring about impact on partner. Lazy disengagement looks like decreased effort across all areas, less consideration for partner's feelings, forgetting important things, breaking commitments, prioritizing own comfort over relationship needs, taking partner for granted. Her partner's behavior fell into the second category. He wasn't showing vulnerability and authentic self. He was showing neglect and lack of consideration. The comfort he felt wasn't security in the relationship. It was complacency. Dr. Harriet Lerner's work on emotional honesty identifies that healthy intimacy requires both authenticity and effort. You should be able to be yourself in relationships, but being yourself shouldn't mean abandoning consideration for your partner's needs. Maya confronted him directly. I understand wanting to be authentic and relaxed. But there's a difference between being yourself and being inconsiderate. Forgetting our anniversary isn't authenticity, it's carelessness. Showing up late without apology isn't comfort, it's disrespect. His response was defensive. I can't believe you're policing how I act when I'm comfortable. I thought you wanted me to be real with you. This response revealed the issue. He was framing basic consideration as performance and his inconsiderate behavior as authenticity. That's manipulation, not intimacy. Dr. Sue Johnson's emotionally focused therapy emphasizes that secure relationships require both authenticity and responsiveness. You should be able to show your real self and respond to your partner's needs. Those aren't contradictory. They're both necessary for genuine connection. Maya ended the relationship, not because he'd become more authentic, but because what he'd become authentic about was not caring enough to maintain basic consideration. But this pattern exists on a spectrum. Not all behavioral change after comfort is toxic. Sometimes it's genuinely healthy development. Dr. Kristen Neff's research on self-compassion shows that many people, especially those with anxiety or insecure attachment, maintain exhausting levels of performance even in close relationships. They're terrified that showing their authentic, imperfect self will result in rejection. For these individuals, becoming comfortable enough to drop the mask is crucial for well-being. They need to learn that they can be imperfect, have bad days, express needs, show vulnerability, and still be loved. The test is reciprocity. Are both people becoming more authentic? Or is one person still performing while the other has completely checked out? Maya's friend Emma had a different experience. Her partner had also changed after getting comfortable, became less performative, more willing to be boring sometimes, more honest about needs. But he'd also become more emotionally open, more willing to be vulnerable, more trusting. The effort on important things remained. He still planned dates, still showed up when it mattered, still cared about Emma's feelings. He wasn't trying less, he was performing less. And there's a crucial difference. Trying less means decreased care about partner's needs, reduced effort in maintaining connection, taking relationship for granted, prioritizing own comfort exclusively. Performing less means reduced need to appear perfect, increased honesty about feelings and needs, more vulnerability, more authentic self-expression, while maintaining care and consideration. The psychology of behavioral change when comfortable reveals something fundamental about relationships. Everyone shows an idealized version initially, and everyone relaxes over time. This is normal. The question is, what's underneath the performance? Is it someone who cares deeply but was afraid to show imperfection? Or is it someone who only cares during the conquest phase and loses interest once you're secured? You can test this. Do they still show up when it matters? Do they care about your feelings even when it's inconvenient? Do they make effort on things that are important to you, even if they've stopped performing constant availability? Do they respond when you express needs? If yes, they're being authentic. If no, they're being lazy. Maya learned this distinction. Authenticity means showing your real self, including flaws, while still caring about impact. Laziness means stopping effort because you've gotten what you wanted and maintenance doesn't motivate you. If someone uses, "I'm just comfortable now," as an excuse for inconsideration, disrespect, or neglect, they're not comfortable. They're checked out, and comfort shouldn't mean abandoning basic regard for someone you claim to care about. The healthiest relationships allow both people to be authentically imperfect and maintain effort on what matters. You should be able to have bad days, be boring sometimes, not always be on, without fear of rejection. But you should still care about your partner's feelings, show up for important things, maintain consideration. That's the difference between genuine intimacy and manipulative bait and switch. Intimacy is mutual vulnerability with maintained care. Manipulation is performance followed by neglect. If someone's behavior change after comfort makes you feel less valued, less important, less cared for, trust that feeling. Real comfort should make both people feel more secure, not less. If their authenticity looks like disregard, that's not intimacy. That's them showing you they don't care enough to try anymore. And you deserve someone who tries. Not performance, not perfection, but genuine, consistent effort to consider your needs and nurture the connection. Comfort shouldn't eliminate that. It should make it easier. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It's very important for us to know the truth. Be honest in the comments, leaving creative suggestions so we can improve the quality of our content more and more. Comment where you're from. Check out the video on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. See you in a few seconds. We are Applied Psychology, and this is our contribution. Subscribe.